This is Datila with Rangers of Wrestling, bringing the Wrestling Time post show. It is Monday, January 2nd, 2023. And for tonight, I will be talking about Monday Night Raw. Alright, so tonight's Raw was the first Monday Night Raw of the new year. And we are officially on the road to the Royal Rumble. And so what went down tonight? And let's talk about how Monday Night Raw opened up with the Bloodline. They pretty much interrupted the Raw intro, attacked the staff, and promised a hostile takeover. Now, if you guys remember, this was a result of Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn losing to John Cena and Kevin Owens on SmackDown. So Kevin Owens comes out and he says that he was gonna say something since he had a microphone in his hand, but all he wants to do is punch Sami Zayn in the face. So Adam Pearce comes out and he tries to put a stop to all of this before chaos even ensues further. And he demands that the Bloodline leave peacefully from the ring, and Solo Sikoa attacks security. And so KO then comes into the ring. He gets a 4-on-1 beatdown. The Raw locker room comes out and they try to break up this brawl. And Adam Pearce says that if Bloodline wants to come to work, then they will be put to work. And so then after a commercial break comes back, they go backstage and Adam Pearce is talking about how the Bloodline's going to be in matches tonight. Elias stands up and says that he only cares about Solo Sikoa and demands a fight against Solo Sikoa. And then Adam Pearce says they're going to have a 6-man tag match. It's going to be KO and the Street Profits versus the Usos and Sami Zayn. So this cuts to Bianca Belair being interviewed backstage before her big match against Alexa Bliss. And she starts talking about how after tonight she doesn't want to talk about Alexa Bliss and that Bliss wanted this match and she was going to prove why the title belongs to her. So far, I actually really enjoyed the opening of Monday Night Raw, and I really like that they had this little backstage interview to get us into the Raw Women's title match, which I think was a really good idea. So the opening contest is a Raw Women's title match. It is Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss, and I actually didn't think this was a bad match. It seemed to me like somewhere along the way, Alexa Bliss got a little busted open from her nose because she had a little bit of blood coming out. I really like that stalling suplex that Bianca did. So the whole point of this match, as we led up to it, was never about the title. This was never about the Raw Women's title. This was about Alexa Bliss turning heel. So you guys know, over the last couple of weeks, WWE has been teasing Alexa Bliss turning heel. Every time Bray Wyatt's logo appears, she ends up kind of, I guess, in a trance, and she attacks Bianca. So this is what happens during the match. So while during the match, Alexa Bliss spots someone in the crowd wearing an Uncle Howdy mask, and this distracts her. And she keeps focusing on him instead of during the match. And again, Bray Wyatt's logo glitches on the Titantron and she starts to go crazy. She attacks the referee, which obviously causes a DQ. And then she attacks Bianca. And it was not just a simple little attack. Like, she threw Bianca face first onto the ring post. She sent her into steel steps. She gave Bianca a DDT onto steel steps. And if you notice, after that DDT, Bianca was bleeding from the mouth. And then she does another one. And Alexa Bliss walks away. And you can see during commercial break, it shows that Montez Ford came out to help his wife. So I don't know if this means that she's fully healed, because later on in the night, when she gets interviewed backstage, she says that she didn't lose control. She gained control over Bianca's headspace and that the Raw Women's title belongs to her. So it seems like she's probably fully healed now, just based on everything that's happened. Or maybe she's becoming Dark Alexa Bliss again. But what did you guys think of Alexa Bliss attacking Bianca Belair and turning heel? I will say the one thing I did like about this match is that there's this one scene where Bianca is like holding her hand like this to Alexa Bliss, and Alexa's just trying to like go crazy hitting her. And if you guys ever watched Scary Movie 3, that kind of reminds me of when Brenda is fighting against the girl from the ring, where she comes out of the TV and she stops her with her hand. I thought of that, and I saw that floating around on Twitter, which I thought was pretty hilarious. So after this, we get a backstage interview with Austin Theory, and he's talking about how his confidence is at an all-time high. And then, you know how that saying goes, new year, new him, but that doesn't apply to him. That 2022 was his year, and 2023 will be no different. He clarifies that Rollins is the past and he is the now, and that his forever reign is just beginning. So awesome promo, awesome backstage interview by Austin Theory. Honestly, his 2022, I would say, started off kind of rough, but certainly picked up towards the end, and I'm very excited to see what they do with Austin Theory leading up to WrestleMania. Yeah, I agree. It looks so good. Okay. So then we get the Music City Street Fight, Elias versus Solo Sikoa. And I actually, I feel bad for Elias because every time he tries to do a concert, he always gets interrupted. He didn't even get a chance to like fully start singing here. Of course, he just talked about the universal truth, which if you guys don't know what the universal truth is that WWE stands for Walk with Elias. And apparently some musician by the name of Hardy was there. I've never heard of Hardy. I don't particularly like country music, so I have never heard of him until today. And so the match starts, and I actually did not mind this match. I was actually enjoying the match. I really like how like they were actually using the weapons. Like Elias at one point grabbed like a piano or a keyboard. He just started hitting Solo Sikoa with it. Solo Sikoa's chest was red. Now, at one point Elias tries to hit Solo Sikoa with the guitar, but Solo Sikoa ducks, and Elias ends up smashing that guitar on the ring post. So here's the one thing I did not like about this. So Hardy, like I said, that musician, he was at ringside, and so he enters the ring. He attempts to hand Elias a guitar, and he enters the ring, and he hits Solo Sikoa in the back with that guitar. And he quickly gets out of it. I did not like that just because I felt like, okay, it made me think for once that maybe Elias was going to beat Solo Sikoa, but he didn't. So I really didn't like that whole Hardy getting involved angle. This match ends after Solo Sikoa hits. Well, first of all, he hits a Samoan spike to Elias midair, and then hits the spinning solo onto a piano. You know, another one spot that I did like in this match was when Elias grabbed that tambourine and started hitting Sikoa with it. Now, I did notice one thing. If you guys paid attention, they kept plugging that Hardy is set to play at the Royal Rumble. And after this angle, I'm really hoping nothing happens between Solo Sikoa and Hardy. I would think it'd be pointless for that to happen. But it seems to me like they might be setting something up. They kept referring to the fact that this guy's going to play at the Royal Rumble, and that Solo Sikoa is probably going to remember this, and that Hardy needs to be careful when he comes to San Antonio for the Royal Rumble. So I don't know what they're setting up here, but it definitely seems like they're setting up an angle at the Royal Rumble with Solo Sikoa and this guy Hardy. But I just didn't like that little spot with him. No lie, though, it kind of did make me think like Elias was going to beat Solo Sikoa, but when he didn't, I was like, it's kind of pointless. But again, they're probably setting up that angle. So the 6-man tag match, it is Kevin Owens and the Street Profits versus the Usos and Sami Zayn. And they didn't even wait for this match to officially start. They all went after each other. Now, there was this one spot where chit chat. Oh, hi. Hey, thanks for stopping by. There's this one spot where like Kevin Owens, he's trying to tag Montez Ford in, but Montez Ford is just kind of standing there. He's just not in the mood. I mean, can you blame him though? His wife did get beat down earlier in the night by Alexa Bliss. He just did not look happy. But he totally like ignores KO's tag. I really did like that frog splash that eventually, when Montez Ford gets in this match, that he does to Sami Zayn. And Sikoa does come out. And the ref, now here's the interesting part. The ref had his back turned. He comes out and he attacks Dawkins. And KO then attacks Sikoa. But here's the thing. Oh, actually, I'll get to it because it's at the end. So Sami Zayn does a Haluva Kid to Montez Ford and he picks up the win. Of course, so I'm pretty sure Sami Zayn was trying to get back in Roman Reigns' good graces after Sami Zayn lost and got the pin on SmackDown. But here he led his team to victory and got the pin. So after the match is over, Solo Sikoa grabs a chair and Sami Zayn takes it from him, but the Usos don't seem to notice because they have their backs turned. They're facing the other direction. So it's very interesting that Sami Zayn did that. So out of nowhere, Sheamus and Drew McIntyre come out, attack Solo Sikoa, and send them crashing into the barricade. So on Friday Night SmackDown, it is going to be Sheamus and Drew McIntyre versus the Usos for those undisputed tag titles. But I can already tell you, without having seen that match, what is going to happen. The Usos are definitely retaining there. So Dexter Lumis versus Chad Gable is next. And I wasn't a huge fan of this match. I feel like this was the weakest match on the card. And Dexter Lumis is victorious. So after this, we get a Damage Control promo. But as Damage Control's walking to the ring, like, let me see. I have a picture here, but it's not the best quality. I did take this off Twitter. As Damage Control is walking to the back, you can see MVP, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin all talking to Adam Pearce. Now, I know Bobby Lashley did get fired and then rehired by Adam Pearce. Dexter, I feel, was a pointless return. Someone had to say it. Yeah, I did not like his stuff with The Miz. I really did. I'm so glad it's over, but I just did not like his whole feud with The Miz. So if you guys remember, like, MVP tried to talk to Adam Pearce about something, but he got interrupted. So it seems to me like we are getting a reunion of the Hurt Business. So maybe I would be okay with almost being a part of the Hurt Business if he's just a muscle. If you use him for anything else, it's not going to work. No Bronson tonight either. What? Hello, I'm all in for Hurt Business. Yeah. Speaking of Bronson Reed, we did have a video package about Bronson Reed, which I actually liked because it got people familiar with Bronson Reed, especially if you don't know who he is. When he did return to help The Miz, it seemed like he didn't get a reaction. So a lot of people probably don't know who Bronson Reed is. I personally liked him as Jonah when he had his matches with PCO in Impact. I thought that was a really good set of matches. If you have not seen those matches, I highly suggest you check them out. Okay. So like I was saying, so Damage Control comes out and they cut a promo, Bailey calling Nashville Trashville, and see, saying Hurt Business was a good stable. I definitely like to see them back. Me too. I definitely would like to see the Hurt Business back. I'm not sure if it's too late to feud with the Bloodline, but I definitely will like to see the Hurt Business back. Bronson was great on NXT as well. Yeah, he definitely was. But again, like back when NXT was the black and gold brand, not too many people watched NXT. I know I didn't watch NXT. I didn't start watching NXT, the black and gold brand, until NXT TakeOver War Games 2. Hurt Business will be coming back. Yeah, definitely seems like that. So Bailey starts talking about how Nashville should be proud because they are where Damage Control was born. If you guys remember last year, or I should say at SummerSlam, that is where Bailey made her grand return alongside Dakota Kai and Io Sky, and they formed Damage Control. And Bailey goes on to talk about how she can't think of a better way to kick off the new year than alongside her two best friends. But before they get to celebrating, they need to address the Irish elephant in the room, talking about how she beat Becky Lynch, and she isn't saying it was easy, but it was fun, and that she did it all by herself. So then afterwards, Becky comes out. Of course, this doesn't sit well with Becky, who tells her to shut up. and that she's talking about how she invented the wheel, but she's just in a hamster wheel, and she calls Bayley a coward and a fraud who is unable to do something by herself, and that she feels comfortable being in someone's shadow. It took her years to get out of the shadow. So I feel like Becky is alluding to the fact that of the 4 horsewomen, it took Bayley forever to get called up, and even when she did, she was still in their shadow until now, recently. And she said that in a year she went back in the shadow, and she alludes to the fact that Dakota Kai and Io Sky are the ones doing all the work, and that it's only a matter of time before they turn on Bayley. The Bloodline could be the newest, I feel. Let's see, someone, Yamo, Sasha, yeah, when they were the golden role models. Becky says that when she loses, she doesn't get mad, she gets better, and that this all started in SummerSlam in Nashville, and Becky wants to end things in Nashville. So of course Bayley refuses, being the heel that she is. She refuses to fight Becky, but she makes a suggestion. She says that she'll offer Becky a match against Dakota Kai and Io Sky, and she tells Becky to find a partner. Becky's saying that she doesn't have a phone, and so she decides to go at it alone. I did not like the fact that it was going to be a 2-on-1 handicap match, because I thought to myself, if Becky gets the better of Damage Control, like there's 3 of them, how would she be able to get better of them? So if you paid attention on commentary, it says that technically this is a tag team match. And midway through this match, Mia Yim Michin comes out and she becomes Becky Lynch's partner. So I'm not sure, like, Becky Lynch is suffering from that babyface booking where they're turning her into Superwoman or Wonder Woman. And because she's gotten the better of Damage Control, and I was not happy about that, because there's 3, like I said, there's 3 of them and only 1 of her. I would have felt some type of way if this stayed a handicap match and Becky Lynch somehow managed to win. But despite Mia Yim coming out and helping Becky, Bayley, of course, was at ringside, so she put Dakota Kai's leg on the rope as Mia Yim was pinning her. Becky attacked Bayley. Io Sky did a moonsault to Mia Yim, and so Dakota Kai and Io Sky were victorious. This one confused me. So is she Michin or whatever full time? They didn't say Mia at y'all. She had her new music again. I think her full name is Mia Yin or Michin Mia Yim. But apparently Michin is just a nickname. So I think they go back and forth with calling her Mia Yim and Michin. Match was boring. I'm really happy Dakota Kai and Io Sky won here. I felt like they needed to win. They are the women's tag team champions, but the fact that they won doesn't really tell me much. I still don't have any indication as to what's going to happen with those women's tag titles as we head to WrestleMania. They're just props. The last time they were defended on SmackDown against a random tag team of Liv Morgan and Tegan Nox. So we'll see what happens with that. You would think Damage Control, like they said, they're not in control of anything because Bayley kept losing to Bianca. She's not even the Raw Women's Champion. So hopefully 2023 Damage Control is booked a lot better. So Seth freaking Rollins has a backstage interview, and he basically starts talking about who is ready to sing tonight, alluding to the fact that the crowd does sing along to his theme song. And he starts talking about how 2023 is already looking like 2022. The Bloodline trying to take over his show. Theory's trying to take his spot. Monday nights belong to him. And in just a few minutes, so will the U.S. title. And he says that Theory will do everything in his power to hold on to that title. And as good as Theory is, he isn't Seth Rollins. He goes on to say that he is a revolutionary, visionary, and he is Seth freaking Rollins. So we get a really, I guess you can say, a Dominik Mysterio promo. If you guys saw the footage, Dominik did get arrested over Christmas, and he spent the night in jail in the Slammer. And this whole promo makes me think like he has street cred now, that Dominik thinks he's got street cred, because he talks about how sadness is not a bad thing to feel, but it's the cold absence of feeling. He starts talking about that is what prison is like. And he says, do people think this is all a game to him, that he served a hard time and survived? And the prison changes the man, and that it's not over for him. He's just getting started, and he will see his mommy soon. So again, he's acting like he was in there a long time. He was probably in there, maybe a couple days, maybe a day. He's saying he served hard time and that a prison changes. Okay, I have heard that prison does change people, but he's acting like he was in there for a long time. And he says he will see mommy soon porque sabe que es la única mamacita. If you don't speak Spanish, he's basically saying he's going to see Rhea soon because she knows she is the one and only mamacita. So our main event is a U.S. title match. It is Seth Freakin Rollins versus Austin Theory. And this was actually a really great main event. I actually really enjoyed this match. I had to say, like, there's this one spot where it looked like Rollins kind of messed up his knee. And because of that, he did a one-legged frog splash, which I thought was actually a pretty cool spot. Theory sends Rollins into the referee, and Seth Rollins ends up doing the pedigree to Austin Theory. But even though another ref comes down, Austin Theory still manages to kick out. And after that, he hits the 8-count down to Seth Rollins and successfully retains his U.S. title against Seth Rollins. Honestly, great way for him to start off the year. And that was a really great match. So I am not upset at all that Austin Theory winning. Like I said, I'm very curious to see where the road to WrestleMania takes Austin Theory. But fantastic main event. So overall, I thought tonight's Raw wasn't too bad. I did like everything except for I didn't in the Music City Street Fight. I did not like that whole angle with Hardy. I didn't really care for Dexter Lumis versus Chad Gable. I didn't like the fact that the tag match or handicap started off as a handicap match, and then it became a tag match. But I did like the main event. I didn't mind the Raw Women's title match, and I think Alexa Bliss pretty much is a heel now. I did like the Bloodline promo. So with that being said, with this being the first Raw of the new year, I am going to give it a 7.5 out of 10 just because of those few things. If you would have taken a few of those things out, I probably would have given it an 8. But aside from that, it wasn't too bad of a Raw. But what did you guys think of tonight's Raw? What would you guys give it out of 10? Oh, yeah, I heard Summer Rae was backstage at Raw. All right, well, with that being said, you guys, thank you guys all so much for watching and for the continuous support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And I'll see you guys live Wednesday after AEW Dynamite. Bye.